All right, I'm going to be playing some videos that have just come out in regards towards Russell Brand. Now, comedian, actor, podcaster Russell Brand has been charged, at least as it stands right now, innocent till proven guilty, with assault. Again, got to be careful because of the YouTube guidelines, but pretty much he has been accused of harassing and assaulting women. And so this is what the UK United Kingdom police have charged comedian Russell Brand with. Now, this story isn't anything new because in 2023 and a little bit in 2024, there were still ongoing cases regarding this. Now, Russell Brand has admitted in the past that he was very promiscuous. He suffered from sexual addiction. And look, when it comes down to addiction, I'm very clear on this. There are people who suffer from alcohol or substance abuse, any kind of gambling addictions. And it's important for us to be very empathetic and open to people who do suffer from these addictions because it's a serious problem. And so in turn, Russell Brand is now being confronted about this. Now, what I found interesting way early on in 2023 is the amount of attacks that Russell Brand was getting even before the Trump campaign started taking full momentum. Because as it stands, Russell Brand was being criticized by liberal Democrats, corporate media, for his stance on the hypocrisy of the two-party system, neoliberalism, and everything else in between. And I understand that there are many people who either like Russell Brand or used to be fans or just don't like him at all. But regardless how you feel about him, he does do and is due a due process and fair trial. Now, BW, you tipped $1.99. Says, gee, I wonder why this is happening to Russell now. And that's a very good question to why. There's always a rhythm in why. So let's go ahead and first play this video up so that all of you can see it. There's two videos, one from Sky News, the other from ABC News. And then I'll be playing a video when Russell Brand addresses the allegations towards him that was in 2023, and also a video which he also made 2 months ago. So let's go and first bring this video up here, and I will play it in full entirety.
We've learned in the last few minutes that Russell Brand has been charged with rape, indecent assault, oral rape, and sexual assault. This is by officers in the United Kingdom. Details just emerging following investigations that have gone on now for several years, following those allegations that were made public, of course, in part through that Channel 4 documentary. Russell Brand has previously denied allegations made against him, while he has been charged, like we've been hearing, by officers in the UK with rape, indecent assault, oral rape, and sexual assault.
Now, I want to play this video here. This is also from ABC News that also broke this story, so let's go ahead and share it.
UK police have charged actor and comedian Russell Brand with rape and sexual assault. The 18-month investigation includes multiple allegations from 1999 to 2005. Let's get right to foreign correspondent Maggie Rulli in London. Maggie, what more do we know about these charges and how Brand is responding to these claims?
Yeah, hey, Dan. Right now, we know that the Metropolitan Police here in the UK are charging Russell Brand with 2 counts of rape and multiple counts of sexual assault. Now, these range from 1999 to 2005 over that 6-year period, and the charges stem from 4 women and their accusations. Now, Dan, all of these allegations first came about during an investigation done by Channel 4 here in the UK back in 2023. And since then, the police here in the UK have been investigating Brand for more than 18 months until they filed these charges today. Now, so far, we have not heard anything from Russell Brand in relation to these allegations and charges, but we do know that after that investigation was released in 2023, he did come out denying any wrongdoing. Diane.
So, Maggie, where does this investigation go from here?
And that's the big question. Right now, Diane, we are aware of allegations against Brand that happened outside of these specific charges. And the Metropolitan Police have been clear that this is an ongoing investigation. They are asking anyone with more information to come forward. And they've gone so far as to say that there's a dedicated team of investigators leading this investigation against Brand right now, Diane.
All right.
So we're going to pause here. I want to pull up this article from the Associated Press. So just so we all get an idea of what's happening here. In September of 2023, British media outlets Channel 4 and Sunday Times published claims by 4 women of being assaulted and, again, physically assaulted by Russell Brand. The accusers have not been identified. The comedian, author, and get him into great actor, but he's also a political podcaster too, has denied the allegations, saying the relationships were always consensual. Now, in recent years, Russell Brand has largely disappeared from mainstream media, but has built up a large online following with videos mixing wellness and conspiracy theories. But also, in his defense, he's also been doing videos calling out the neoliberal political system that is systematically leading us into financial instability, endless wars, and so much more. As it stands right now, Russell Brand is due to appear in court on May 2nd. Now, Jaswat Narwhal, the Britain's Crown Prosecution Service, says prosecutors carefully reviewed the evidence after police investigation into allegations made following the broadcast of a Channel 4 documentary in September of 2023. We have concluded that Russell Brand should be charged with offenses including, again, rape, sexual assault, and indecent assault, Narwhal said. The Crown Prosecution Service reminds everyone that criminal proceedings are active and the defendant has a right to a fair trial. And again, innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. I do want to bring up two videos, though. Now, the first video I am going to be bringing up, it was on September 15th of 2023. And then the next video that I will be bringing up was from 2 months ago, January 22nd of 2025. And I think it's important that we hear from Russell Brand's side of the story, because it's one thing important to remember. It's easy for people to automatically join the cancel culture and wave of censorship. Now, of course, I'd be wrong not to mention, well, gee, Russell Brand knew P. Diddy. Gee, Russell Brand knew a lot of people in Hollywood. Those Hollywood elites, they're all the same. Remember, again, there's a lot of people who say they've been to a Diddy party, but they never participated in a Diddy party, okay? And it's not fair to be putting that all on one person. Again, we got to look at what the evidence is. Right now, there are 4 women who've come forward, and the United Kingdom police are right now, again, following through with these charges, and he's set to appear in court in May. So, while all of this is happening, I think it's important that we do at least hear from Russell's side of the story. Now, this was from 2023, and we actually did play this video when these allegations first came out, because I want to pull up an article as well in which there was this massive wave of trying to get him censored, as well as how the United Kingdom wanted to hold Rumble accountable as well. Now, I do not like the idea of governments going onto social media, dictating who can have a platform and who cannot have a platform. Now, are there bad people out there? Absolutely. But I like to believe that public opinion and good people will step up. The minute when you have the political police knocking at the door, dictating who can have a platform, who cannot have a platform, then we're in some trouble.
The usual type of video we make on this channel where we critique, attack and undermine the news in all its corruption, because in this story I am the news. I've received 2 extremely disturbing letters, or a letter and an email, one from a mainstream media TV company, one from a newspaper, listing a litany of extremely egregious and aggressive attacks, as well as some pretty stupid stuff like my community festival should be stopped, that I shouldn't be able to attack mainstream media narratives on this channel. But amidst this litany of astonishing, rather baroque attacks are some very serious allegations that I absolutely refute. These allegations pertain to the time when I was working in the mainstream, when I was in the newspapers all the time, when I was in the movies. And as I've written about extensively in my books, I was very, very promiscuous. Now, during that time of promiscuity, the relationships I had were absolutely always consensual. I was always transparent about that then, almost too transparent. And I'm being transparent about it now as well. And to see that transparency metastasized into something criminal that I absolutely deny makes me question, is there another agenda at play? Particularly when we've seen coordinated media attacks before, like with Joe Rogan, when he dared to take a medicine that the mainstream media didn't approve of. And we saw a spate of headlines from media outlets across the world using the same language. I'm aware that you guys have been saying in the comments for a while, watch out, Russell, they're coming for you. You're getting too close to the truth. Russell Brand did not kill himself. I know that a year ago, there was a spate of articles. Russell Brand's a conspiracy theorist. Russell Brand's right wing. I'm aware of news media making phone calls, sending letters to people I know for ages and ages. It's been clear to me, or at least it feels to me, like there's a serious and concerted agenda to control these kind of spaces and these kind of voices. And I mean my voice along with your voice. I don't mind them using my books and my stand-up to talk about my promiscuous consensual conduct in the past. What I seriously refute are these very, very serious criminal allegations. Also, it's worth mentioning that there are witnesses whose evidence directly contradicts the narratives that these two mainstream media outlets are trying to construct, apparently in what seems to me to be a coordinated attack. Now, I don't want to get into this any further because of the serious nature of the allegations, but I feel like I'm being attacked, and plainly they are working very closely together. We are obviously going to look into this matter because it's very, very serious. In the meantime, I want you to stay close, stay awake, but more important than any of that, if you can, please stay free.
Now, obviously, going through this kind of legal trouble can affect somebody mentally and emotionally and psychologically. I mean, going to court, it's a very scary thing. Everybody's going to be stressed. Everybody's going to be furious. I mean, you're going to be up against a wall. Now, again, these are allegations, and he has to face off against them, and he's set to appear in court in May. Which, if that's the case, okay. But we have to also remember that when this first came out, even I have felt that this was a coordinated attack against him, because especially how you had the United Kingdom, the government there, going after Rumble. Now, I don't want any government to dictate to TikTok or YouTube or Instagram or Rumble or Kick or Twitch to do this. But remember, there's always that control, that method. And look what's happening to TikTok now. I mean, the reason why TikTok is going down isn't because of China. It's because you had content creators and people with platforms calling out the ridiculous war that's happening in Gaza. Okay, that's what was going down. Now, we have to remember due process. It's easy to jump on board and say this doesn't matter, but it does matter in a way, especially if it can be proven in court that these allegations are just that, allegations, and there's nothing further from it, because he has a right to defend himself. I want to pull up another video here. This was from 2 months ago in January of 2025. Again, January 22nd, 2025, to be more precise. Let me go and play this video.
I know that for years, my promiscuity was exploitative. As a famous rich dude, sleeping around, having sex in bathrooms, sleeping with multiple people.
You're not helping yourself out here, buddy. Not helping yourself out with that first opening.
At once, using the fact that I had massive access to having sex with strangers and was doing it. That's pretty crazy and excessive. And there's no question that that is sinful, broken behavior that hurts people. And I beg for forgiveness, and I'm given forgiveness, and I beg for salvation. But what happened in this weird liminal space is that behavior got metastasized and reformed retrospectively into criminal conduct by competing media companies, working with groups like Logically and Crisp, working with legacy media companies, collaborate in an unprecedented way in order to go back to, for years and years, talk to people like, have you got a story about Russell Brand? What about that? Well, other people have bravely come forward. What if we shift that? What if we shift this a little bit? What if we tweak that? But, of course, I'm going to mention that it happened not when I was, all over the media every day in Hollywood on talk shows, introducing movies, blah, 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 and actually sleeping with loads of women. It happened when I started to talk about Moderna, Pfizer, Raytheon, Lockheed Martin, and exploitation and manipulation.
Yeah. See, here's the thing. All right. Now, obviously, the way he worded that video, perhaps I would not have said what he has said, but then again, that's Russell Brand. He has a platform, and he's being very. I prefer transparency than hiding in the shadows. If that's what can be taken away from this, I prefer the full on transparency. Okay, so let's go ahead and talk a little bit more into this, because as soon as he did start talking about big pharma, military industrial complex, I, as well as everyone else, did notice that the attacks on him started to intensify. And if you got skeletons in your closet, well, listen, honey child, they're going to come after you, and especially if you were somebody who was in the Hollywood circle, they know, you know that song, She Knows. Yeah. Well, again, everybody in media, they know. In the Hollywood circles, they know each other's dark little secrets. They know each other's little games they play. I mean, come on, Hollywood, Washington D.C., everybody knows each other's dirty little secrets, their little plans, their schemes, what they do, what they shouldn't have been caught in. Everyone has access to skeletons in everyone's closet. I mean, it's a game. It is a game, and if you choose to go into the world of fame, remember, it's a poison that will never leave your body. But here's what I'm worried about. Here's what's keeping me up. Here's what's kind of reminding me of just what could happen and what kind of precedent this could set, because it's not just about Russell Brand. It's also about the future of free speech. Because when you do have people talking about the military industrial complex, political corruption, endless wars, abuse of power, remember, not everyone's Russell Brand. Not everyone has access to millions of followers. There are other small channels like Do Dissidents, Hardlands Media. You have INN, you have RBN, you have everyone across the political spectrum, right? And I'm even going to include the larger channels here too, because this would involve people like Jimmy Dore and yes, Majority Report and even TYT. And yes, everyone, even those on the right here as well. Because see, the thing is, Russell Brand, he's got a big target on him. And he was talking about things that really ticked off those in the neoliberal establishment. This is an article that did come out in September 23rd, 2023. Firm pulls ads from Rumble platform over Russell Brand videos. Okay, now that is a little bit of a concern because it reminds me of the YouTube adpocalypse. The YouTube adpocalypse was a very, not to mention there's been a couple adpocalypses, but that's how corporate media, if you ever wonder why ABC or CNN or corporate media seem to have such a large footprint on YouTube, it happened in 2015, 2016. That's when the big wave happened. So a large number of companies have pulled their advertisements from video platform Rumble, where Russell Brand broadcasts his weekly show in week of allegations of sexual assault against a comedian came to light. Now, again, this article did come from 2023, just to be clear. The news movement reported on Friday that Burger King, ASOS, Barbican, and HelloFresh, a recipe box delivery service, had removed their ads. Brand, who has 1.4 million followers on the platform, YouTube suspended Brand's ability to earn money on its platform on Tuesday, but Rumble has rejected calls to do the same. Now, here's the thing. I did not like how YouTube, and I still stand by it, I don't like how YouTube immediately chose to once again suspend Brand's ability to earn money because innocent till proven guilty. Innocent till I don't care. We have a thing called due process. I understand that there are examples where somebody is, oh man, that person's guilty. Oh, he or she is guilty. But you just, because as soon as you jump on board of guilty, again, due process. And is the system fair? Does the system work well? No, it doesn't. Sometimes the legal system just really does a terrible job. But that's a problem when automatically suspended. Now, on Friday, Brand said the moves to block him from receiving advertising revenue for his videos on social media platforms have occurred in the context of the online safety bill. On Thursday, Rumble accused the parliamentary committee of deeply inappropriate behavior after Caroline Dinage, a conservative chair of the Culture, Media, and Sport Committee, wrote a letter to the company's chief executive, Chris Pavelski, to express concern that Brand may be able to profit from his content on the platform. The government does not have that right to do that to a person who has a social media platform. That is not fair, and that's very frightening, okay? In a public statement posted on X, Rumble called the letter disturbing and said Parliament's demands were deeply inappropriate and dangerous. The platform added that it was devoted to an internet where no one arbitrarily dictates which ideas can or cannot be heard or which citizens may or may not be entitled to a platform. Rumble added singling out an individual and demanding his ban even more disturbing given the absence of any connection between the allegations and his content on Rumble. So again, the allegations are being put upon Russell Brand and his content. Boom. Two different things altogether. I don't like that. Now, again, this is happening in the United Kingdom, in the UK. This isn't in the USA. But again, I am a firm believer of innocence. I understand the UK laws and American laws are different, but I am a firm believer of, again, innocent until proven guilty. And I do hope that, perhaps maybe there's some kind of reasonable explanation to all of this. Obviously these allegations towards Russell Brand, again, these are allegations, are cleared up. Like we are able to see what's going on here. Okay. We're able to find out what happened. Last week, Brand was accused of sexual assault and emotional abuse between 2006 and 2013 after a joint investigation by Sun Times, The Times, and Channel 4 dispatches. He denies the allegations. On Friday, Brand made his first public comments since the allegations were made public in a new video he posted online. In a 3-minute video posted on YouTube, Rumble, and X, he described them as extraordinary and distressing and accused the government of seeking to censor him. Burger King told the news movement it had paused all advertising while investigations into the allegations were ongoing. ASOS said it had manually removed its ads from Rumble, and Barbican said it asked its media agency to exclude the site from where its ads appear. The Times estimate Brands earns about £27,000. Wow, £27,000 at least from 2023 a month from his Rumble channel, and $1 million a year. Wow, British pounds from YouTube before ads were suspended. His literary agent, tour promoter, and book publisher have also dropped them. According to Rumble's website, it is immune to cancel culture and aims to restore the internet to its roots by making it free and open once again. Pravowski has described it as neutral. Rumble was founded in 2013. Its popularity soared after the 2020 presidential election, with its monthly users growing from 2 million to more than 20 million at the end of the year, according to Forbes. As of 2022, Rumble has reported 78 million active users globally. Again, this article did come out in, you guessed it, 2023. So what can we take away from this? First of all, these are allegations, and all this is going to come to head in the court on May. Now, these are very serious allegations, and I'm very curious to see how this plays out in the long run in regards to social media, content creation, and free speech. Now, he is due to face the Westminster Magistrates Court on May 2nd of this year. Is this going to cause a wave of censorship? Will this set a precedent in other countries? What's going to happen to other content creators? Because again, while this is happening in the United Kingdom, you better believe that there are going to be people in positions of power, be it in the USA, Canada, or anywhere else. If they want maybe to drop the hammer on another person, maybe a person who's trying to awaken people about the system as it is in their country, calling out corruption, it could set a precedent for more people to be silenced. Now, prepare yourselves for the worst case scenario. Now, is Russell Brand, again, a lot of his changes have made me raise an eyebrow here and there, especially with his recent, I guess, growing friendship with one Rabbi Shmuley, has raised an eyebrow here or there, but it is what it is. And when you face these serious allegations, I do have to look at how a person responds to them emotionally at a level to where, okay, things are scary and you have to react to it however which way you can so that you can continue to function. We'll be continuing to follow through with this story. And obviously, we are in the month of April. What comes next? May. So we'll be talking about this.